It is International Women's Day, and to celebrate that, here's 5 amazing women from history. First up, we have a princess and priestess from ancient Mesopotamia, Enheduannu. And why is Enheduannu important? This name might be new to you. Well, she is the first known author in history. She lived around 4,300 years ago, around the date 2300 BC, and she is the daughter of Sargon of Akkad, Sargon the Great, the first emperor in history. It was the Akkadian Empire, and she was a princess, she was a priestess, and she used to write poems, poetry, and some of them still exist today. And she's the first known author, like I said, in history. Now we have this woman, probably one of the most well-known women in history, Cleopatra. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. She was the last pharaoh of the Ptolemaic dynasty. This was the dynasty founded by Ptolemy, one of the generals of Alexander the Great. When he died, his kingdom got split up between his generals, and his general Ptolemy took Egypt. So Cleopatra was Greek, Macedonian Greek. She died in 30 BC, so way back to over 2,000 years ago. But she was the only Ptolemaic pharaoh that could actually speak ancient Egyptian. She could speak multiple languages, do high-level maths. She was a genius. She was great at playing the geopolitical game that was ancient Rome. But in the end, she picked the wrong side in Mark Antony, and she ended up committing suicide, and the legend has it by being bitten by an asp. And now we have Boudica, the Iceni Celtic queen that took on the Romans. Now, Boudica was the queen of Protestagus, the king of the Iceni, the Celtic people. England, Britain back then was split up into little kingdoms ruled by different Celtic tribes. Now in 43 AD, the Romans conquered England, but they allowed the Iceni to carry on their rule as long as they answered to Rome. Now, Protestagus, the king of the Iceni, said to the Romans that when he died, his kingdom would be split up between the Romans and his daughters. But when he did die, the Romans had other ideas. They didn't just take the land, they wanted to send a message. And so they had Boudica whipped, flogged, and they had her 2 daughters raped. She wanted revenge. And from 60 to 61 AD, the Iceni queen Boudica led a revolt against the Romans and even destroyed 3 Roman cities. London, St. Albans and Colchester were all destroyed. Boudica was eventually stopped at the Battle of Watling Street by the Romans. But the legend has it that instead of being taken captive, Boudica committed suicide. She couldn't bear to be